The 11 to 1 Show.
It's already February 2023, and at the start of the year you promised yourself that you would leave the job you hate, meet the love of your life and start living your dream life. But so far you're still stuck. Well, my next guest can help. She's a creative entrepreneur. She's Ireland's first live wedding painter and she's a success, life and manifestation coach. I'm delighted to be joined on the line by Diana Merfeldiene. How are you getting on, Diana?
Hi, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from Latvia originally.
Yes, I'm from Latvia. I live 19 years now in Ireland.
19 years here. What brought you here all the way to County Meath from Latvia?
It was the work first. When I came here, it was the language and I wanted to see the country, and then I worked here in Ireland as well. And then I met my husband, and we now have 4 beautiful girls together as well. So
well settled here now at this stage. But before COVID, things were very different for you. You decided to take a leap of faith, though. Tell me what happened. What was life like for you before COVID?
Yeah, so before COVID, I was working in logistics in the office. I felt like there's something missing in my life. I had this little voice telling me that I meant for more. There's more for me to be done in this life. And I was always very creative, and I had this hobby on the side, my art, painting. And I couldn't really believe in myself fully enough to just go for it. So I just had this little hobby. I was painting on the side when I had time between 4 girls, on the job.
Yeah.
And just felt a little miserable, felt that I'm missing something in life. That was me before COVID.
And then COVID happens. And did your work change? Were you suddenly working from home?
Yes, so I had a little bit more time to think about things, and around the same time I got introduced to my first coach, because when the student is ready, the teacher will come, and
yes.
That's when I got introduced to one of the Bob Proctor's consultants. I don't know if you've heard of Bob Proctor.
I have heard of Bob Proctor. Okay, so people who are into The Secret will know about Bob Proctor. He's kind of one of these revolutionary thought leaders. He's a very spiritual guy. He's all about kind of helping people manifest their dream life, as you are as well.
Yes, and he's so I was studying his program, and so that happened during COVID, because I was so it always, now I know it happened for a reason, but before that I was like, I just stumbled into that person and that's how it happened. But that was the time when I started manifesting. So I manifested that first coach, and I got introduced to this beautiful material, and I started to shift my mindset, to work on my limiting beliefs. And around the same time, I decided to quit my full-time job. It was
big step. Yeah, big step.
So the scariest decision in my life, because nobody supported me. Even my own husband was like, "Now what are you doing? It's not the time." Times like what? But I because I knew I can do it now. I just went for it. And I think we spoke last year when this first idea came to me to be a live wedding painting.
Yes,
a live wedding painter. And since then everything changed so dramatically.
Yeah, and talk to us a little bit about this. Let's sidestep just for a second. Talk to us a little bit about the wedding painting, because this is huge. You are in big demand, and like you mentioned, we did speak about this on the show last year when it was you were sort of just starting off. Things have exploded with this, haven't they?
Yes. So I'm the first live wedding painter in Ireland, and people, when they hear about me, they're like, wow. And yes, I'm getting so many bookings, and it's exploded, and I'm just so happy. I believed in myself fully enough, and I was introduced to this material that I could just take a leap of faith and go for it.
So much so that you're not in the logistics anymore. You are doing this, but you're also a creative entrepreneur. You're helping people as well with manifestation. So manifestation, it's a real buzzword at the moment. It's kind of been thrown around a lot. There's a lot of literature on this. There's a lot of books on this. What does it actually mean in your own sort of way? What do you think it means, Diana?
Well, manifesting is it's to bring something you desire into your life through the law of attraction that you've heard.
Yes.
To your belief. So a lot of the time people think that to manifest something you have to dream about something and it will come to you. But the thing is, you attract not what you want, you attract what you are. And that's what manifestation is all about. You need to change first to attract what you want, so that's how it works.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of people, as you say, just think that they sit around visualizing. No, you need to take action with this. As you say, you need to really, it's all these self-limiting beliefs. So in your mind, there's that other voice in your mind that likes to sabotage you, that says, oh, you can't do that. You're not confident enough for this. You won't be good at that. It's about silencing that one and changing that voice for a new thing to be saying, you can do that. You are confident. This is for you. It's all about that, isn't it?
It's all about that. We have the big four, as I call them. It's criticism, fear, guilt, and resentment, and they can really ruin our life. And unfortunately, 98% of our brain is run by subconscious beliefs like this. So if somebody criticizes you before the age of 10, normally when we are children, and it could be your parents, teachers, friends, maybe someone just mentioned you're not smart enough, or you're not good with maths, or what are you doing? You're not good at art. So we get those beliefs deep down in our subconscious. I'm not good enough. I'm not brave enough. Somebody else can. I can't. Somebody is smarter than me. And that's how we just stop believing in ourselves altogether. So when we then want to manifest something in our life, what happens is you tell, oh, I want, to be an artist. And then at the end, subconsciously, you don't even sometimes notice it. You have this reel that is playing, who are you joking? Yeah. I'm not going to make it. Nobody wants to buy my paintings. I was like that in the very, very beginning, and my husband didn't help a lot,
I know, and it's probably in the best possible way. He's probably going look, this is a crazy idea. What are you doing? It's because he needs to wrap his head around it as well. So much so that he's done a complete 360 now, hasn't he, on this?
I know. And sometimes people listen to people around them. But you know what I would advise, if anybody's doing it right now and they want something more in their life, not listen to people who haven't done it themselves. If you want an advice, go for a person that has done it and ask them, is it possible for me to do this? Never listen to, as I call them, opinions are the cheapest of commodities. So don't listen to anybody.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. So in terms of the manifesting aspect of your life, how long did this take? Was this a lot of work, or did you find once you kind of clicked into this that it all fell into place and it became easy for you?
I'm still manifesting, but
okay.
one of the first ones, and it's actually easy. It's natural for us. We always manifest. Manifesting is something that we do all the time. It's just people are not noticing it, because a lot of the time with your, oh, I can't do this, or the limiting beliefs or negative thoughts, you attract the same negative things into your life. So when it started to shift for me was when I started to be grateful for what I already have. And this gratitude into the people, into everything that I already own, that's when things started to shift. That's when my feelings changed. And that's when I started to attract things and people into my life. This idea with light wedding painting came to me from someone else. It wasn't my idea. It was actually my friend that came to me and suddenly decided to share this idea with me, So things like that will start happen one by one when you start shifting, when you start actually being grateful for what you already have.
So when you set up the easel then, the first live wedding painting, you must have just been pinching yourself going, oh my God, this actually works.
It does. The fact that you can have, as an artist, the money that I'm earning right now, and it was one of my manifestation was that I will be selling a painting for 1,000 euros and more.
Brilliant.
And it came and it's with such ease, and people are happy to pay more, and it's just incredible. Yeah.
Well, do you know, money is the big block that I have, and I'm actually reading a book all about that. And one of the things as well, particularly for women, and I don't know if you came kind of in kind of this was your experience, but this idea of, oh, people might think a certain way about me if I put a price, let's say, high or whatever. Did you find that then you had to overcome those little blocks about yourself, about deserving to have this money for the time and effort and talent that you're putting into the painting?
Absolutely. It was like, and I started small. That's where, like, when my self-image grew and I had to work a lot on my self-image, it's the person you need to, as I said, if you want to attract more, you need to become the person that is, that can attract more. Yes. It's not what you want. It's who you are. So when I decided that, yes, my artwork is worth it and I'm worth to receive this money, a lot of the time people have this problem with receiving. We're not open to receive. Starting with the compliment or when you're walking on the street and someone says, oh, you're looking nice, and you're like starting, oh, it's this something from pennies, or you start to kind of find things to be, no. It's like you're not taking it in. And that's what I teach my students as well, is to just soak it all in. And when somebody buys you coffee, take it and just say thank you and be grateful for, start with small little things like that. Compliments, take it in, just say, oh, thank you, just accept it.
Yeah, so we're so good at doing that, aren't we? We're so good at brushing off the compliments. I love that that's one of the first things that you teach. It's about accepting and taking the compliment and loving. It's not big-headed if you say thank you, like you say, absolutely. And talk to me about this, because you do it's called Living Prosperity program that you have for people, which you coach people through all of this.
Yes, I do. I have two programs, like a basic one where people start. It's called Living Prosperity. It's accountability program. And there's also the Mastery program that is a little bit more in depth, and it focuses on 4 pillars where we talk about the self, mastery of self, mastery of relationship, mastery of health, and mastery of wealth. I just found that in the beginning I was teaching the concept as a whole, and then I just divide them into 4, and I like to explain each one individually because they all intertwine. And a lot of the time people come to me for this advice, for money, for the wealth, but actually they want better relationship, they want to finally start loving themselves first. So it's a lot of overcoming the criticism and the fears and everything that's starting, but it all starts with self-love, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We are so much into disapproving and criticizing ourselves that I can't even explain how I want to shout at everyone, start loving yourself, guys.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised, Diana. I'm not surprised that people are going a little bit broken to you, a little bit sort of not loving themselves. It even goes back to what we just said about, accepting the compliments and this idea that we don't deserve them, or, we don't deserve to have this great life that we should be living. And so many people were like you and are like you right now. They're going into that 9-to-5 job they hate. They're maybe with somebody that they don't love, or they're looking for somebody and they're not finding it. And it's about taking ownership of it, taking control. And like you said, you had to go to a coach to get to where you are now. It's you're not alone through this.
Yes, I started by myself, trying to figure out, because I started having thoughts, but I couldn't really, the coach will really show you how and where to, because they went through this, and they can really, you can take an elevator instead of taking one step at a time, that's how I look at coaching.
And you are hoping as well, you ran a brilliant workshop back in January about creating your dream life. You're hoping to run another workshop on February 17th. Where can people get information about that? Yeah, so if you go to my Instagram, The G Art, both my Instagram and website are called The G Art. Yep. If you can spell them. I could do that, yeah. DIART, yeah. Yes, the DIA art. And in the bio, there will be a link to the Secret to Love and Money. So this workshop on the 17th of February at 1 p.m. Irish will be called The Secret to Love and Money. And that's when I will be sharing. It's free. It's available for everyone. If anybody wants to join and they feel like they're stuck and they need some inspiration or like they have some beliefs that they want to shift, we will be doing it there in this workshop. And I love that you're giving back in that way, that this is free for people. So if people want to get a taster of kind of what you're about and maybe want to work with you further, they can do that. If you could go back, Diana, to yourself before COVID, that was, doing the 9 to 5, commuting, not liking your life, what would you say to yourself back then about knowing kind of what you know now? I would say just do it. Just do it. Just go for it. And because I was really doubting. I think probably
for a year, I was doubting, should I leave my job? Should I stay? Because of this, fear, and I wasn't really ready. But if I knew now what's going to happen today, that this is the life I'm going to live, that I can drop my girls to school when I want, that I can take holiday when I want, and I can be getting the money that I wasn't even dreaming about, and have this lifestyle, I would just say go for it. I would invest in myself probably earlier than that. Like, I wouldn't be afraid, because a lot of the time people think, oh, it's a big money, I don't want to do it. And what I did as a mother, it was always my kids were first. This was my the first time when I invested in myself, in my self-development. And if you're in doubt and if you want to change your life, I would go and just invest in yourself. If there's a course, or if there's something that you wanted to do, maybe like art, or you always wanted to paint, for example, and you didn't because, you have family, you have this, you have that, just take yourself first, because we only live one life, and you better enjoy it.
Oh, Diana, what a great message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story. I wish you every success going forward, and I really hope that things continue on this trajectory for you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sinead.
Thanks a million. Isn't she brilliant? So inspiring. I'm just in awe of people who can, take control like that and say, do you know what, this life isn't for me. I'm going off. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to lead the life that I deserve. If you want to find out more about Diana and what she does, the D-Art. Okay, so and then DIART. You'll find her on Instagram. You'll find her on social media there. Also, thedart.com. And that Secret to Love and Money workshop, which is free, is going to be at 1 p.m. on the 17th of February.